Wakasm, and today I will be playing Dead Cells, the Rogue-Lite Board Game. If you are not familiar with Dead Cells, this is a game that you are meant to lose and then play again, get more stronger, more powerful, keep playing until you get powerful enough to beat the entire game. It is a roguelite, which means that stuff transfers over from game to game. I guess in board game terms, you might call that a legacy game. But this is based off a video game franchise that, if you've never played it before, it's kind of like a Metroidvania-inspired, side-scrolly, roguelite type game where you're a character, you get lots of weapon upgrades, you fight bosses, you die a lot, you spend the stuff that you get during your runs to power up your character or give your character more options between runs, and little by little you can make it further and then get to the final boss, and that's what this is trying to capture. But obviously, since this is a board game, they kind of changed it from a running type game to like a side-scrolling type game to a tactical kind of game, but captures the spirit of it. I've played a bit of Dead Cells, but it's been like, I don't know, easily 4 or 5 years since I've last played Dead Cells. Maybe I will revisit Dead Cells in honor of the board game just to kind of relive it a little bit. I don't really remember there being different kinds of the main character, so that might be a thing that's always existed. My memory does not remind me if that's a thing or not. I remember there kind of being like one main beheaded character, but yeah, again, it's been a while since I played it, so I'm sure those familiar with the board game would be a lot more familiar with all the different items, or those familiar with the video game would be a lot more familiar with all the items and the upgrades. I do remember the core loop. I do remember you would kind of progress to get shortcuts and things of that nature, and I guess that's what the rune system is going to be all about in this. But yeah, this is my first time playing, so I am bound to make some rules mistakes, so I'm warning you ahead of time. If I make a rules mistake, just let me know. The rulebook also seems not perfect. There was some issues with me like totally understanding the rules. I had to like go straight to the FAQ and kind of research on the Board Game Geek forums what questions that people were asking that like I immediately had by just reading the rulebook. And because this game has a lot of things that are being added into the game as we play, I imagine I'm going to be flipping over lots of cards and making rules mistakes with all the new powers that are coming in. Luckily, the core game seems pretty straightforward. I think it's just going to be mostly understanding all the different interactions of stuff that you unlock and as you play. So I guess let's just get started, see how it goes, see how this first play goes, and yeah, I'll be playing a bunch of this on the channel. So if you like it, give me a like, subscribe, let me know if you have any thoughts about the game, etc. So I guess let's start with just showing off the table. So this is the table, and right now with my current setup, this is eating up most of the table. I probably could zoom out like another inch on both sides before I'd run out of table space, but I gotta reset up some stuff to be able to do that. So this is maximized table space I have available for recording in here right now. At some point that might change, but this is what we got. Luckily I can get everything onto the table. I had to rearrange it slightly differently than how the game wants you to do it, but it's fine. This should work, well enough, so to speak. All right, so what is happening here? So this is a cooperative game. I'm playing it solo. I'm using the official solo mode, which gives me a solo character to play with, but you could play it 2 players, 3 players, 4 players. I assume you also could play it, two-handed, but there's supposed to be like a lack of communication element in this game, and I think the solo bot in this particular instance does a better job of simulating that. So I'll probably play this way, and I don't know, maybe on a future run I might try 2 characters just to see what it plays like. Some things of note: that you could start with 1 character, then play with like 2 players and 3 players and kind of play the same unlocked game if you wanted, or you could fully reset it if you wanted to. But like I said, things carry over from game to game. Like they actually have this really neat board that mine came warped, so that's why it's like kind of funny, and also the reflective surfaces with the light above is kind of annoying, the glare, but it's not much I can do about that. But you do slot cards into these spots, and it does carry over from game to game. So all the upgrades that I get between games, I can just put it in here, and then I can just close this up, and they just remain. So I don't have to do anything with that until it's time to, reset the game. I can just leave everything in there. So that's kind of a neat feature. I do like legacy games. I do like campaign games. So It's kind of neat to see what's going on over there. I'm not familiar with any of the characters. I just picked the Flayed because I tend to pick green as my main color. So that's the character we're going with. I don't know yet if I will hop around or if I will just play the same character, but my understanding of kind of how the upgrade system works, you will be getting equipment cards and blueprints from all the different locations, and eventually you'll search for blueprints and get equipment into the equipment deck. So I'm assuming there's better equipment the more levels you go in, and once you unlock them, they kind of become more available in this pool of equipment. So that's one way all your other characters get powered up, but then you also get powers that happen at the start, during the game, at the start of the game. As you see at the top of there, there's like a skill that like I guess can be used. There's something called a boss cell, which I don't know what that is, and then there's all these runes, which I don't know if the runes have any gameplay stuff other than like kind of being like keys to unlock different paths. Like for instance, if we want to go into the ramparts at some point, we have to get this rune, which is the, did it even say what the rune is? I don't know, let's try to zoom up real quick and see if I can read it. I don't think it actually says it. Anyway, yeah, plus I don't know, my camera cannot pick up the text that zoomed in at this level, unfortunately, that small text, but I could just pull it over and read the card. I guess that's the easier way to do it. Yeah, it doesn't say what the rune names actually are. It just is a symbol. So maybe when we flip it over, it will be like, this is the air rune or something. But yeah, that's what that is. All right, so that's kind of the introduction. We are going to be a character called the Beheaded, or these are the Beheaded, and I am particularly playing the Flayed. I don't really know what their special powers are. Like one kind of looked like it specialized in poison. One kind of looked like it specialized in burning, which is something that you can do. I think one is just kind of like strong, and based on the fact that I'm holding a shield, I'm guessing this one's a little bit more defensive, but I guess we are going to find out if that's what this character is. I mean, based on the fact that I have a lot of shields, I'm assuming that's what it is, but they don't really have a description of like the different characters here. They might in the rule book, but I didn't remember seeing it. I didn't read it, so there's that. Also, some interesting things is you have all these decks, all these decks up here that are kind of like where you get all your upgrades from. They are all decks that you do not shuffle, so I assume every time you play this, you'll be unlocking things in the same order. So I guess if you have a really, really strong memory, a future replay might not be as magical as a second replay, but there are a lot of cards in those decks. Like I'd say there's probably like 30, 40, 50 cards in each of these decks. I mean, I probably know the exact amount if I flip them over and start looking through it. But you know, so I don't know. I imagine the really hardcore players will memorize it. I probably won't. So, you know, I could probably replay this a few times and get the same experience out of it. So what else? Setup took me a little bit longer because I set it. I don't know if you watched my unboxing video, but I was going to do the full setup and set up all the decks inside this insert as part of the intro here. But then I quickly realized that's a bad idea. So I kind of set everything up, but I didn't sort any of these tokens for this play, and just trying to find all these little tokens took a long time. So at some point between these plays, I'm going to have to figure out some organizational system for all the little mini tokens. Other than that, I mean, the insert's kind of okay, kind of leaves a little bit to be desired, but I mean, it's not the worst insert, not the best insert. But yeah, this particular area, I was digging through that probably like for 3 or 4 minutes. So I could probably see in the future you can get this set up down to like 5 minutes, pulling it out of the box and setting it up, maybe like 7-8 minutes. I'm also usually on the slow side because of the recording, I want to make sure I do things right. So yeah, so we are going to get started. I'm going to do my best to play everything correctly. I'll try to introduce things as we go. We are a party, so since we are only playing with one character, we are only a party of one. I did not see a little figurine for the Serenade power for the Serenade character. That's our buddy here, which is a sword. I don't know if it's he or she, but it says "Hey, listen" on it, which is a Zelda reference. So I'm going to assume maybe a she. Maybe it's like the little fairy Navi, but I actually don't know. And I don't remember from the game if there is a gender attached to it. So we will probably reference her as she based on that. But yeah, we don't have a little mini for Serenade. I don't know if it was supposed to be included or if it just doesn't exist or if I'm missing it. So there's that. If we were playing cooperative, we'd just move as a group and we'd have all our little figures in there. Also of note, there is a Kickstarter edition. This is not the Kickstarter edition. I mentioned it in my unboxing video, but at the time the Kickstarter edition came out, I wasn't going to back this just because of financial issues and owning a lot of games. But then I kind of changed my mind kind of after the Kickstarter happened and there was more coverage that this might be a game I might enjoy. But at the time, I did not realize that there was Kickstarter exclusive content, which is something that I usually do not support, or at least I try not to support. I mean, there's definitely been times I've done it, but over the years, I've gotten more and more irritated when publishers and I'm assuming publishers or I don't know, designers, I don't know who makes the decision, put exclusive stuff in games that's gameplay relevant and then doesn't offer that as a purchase later. I don't love that. I don't mind if it's like more beautiful bits, or I don't mind if it's something you get for free as part of the Kickstarter, but then you have to pay extra for later. As long as it's available, I don't really care. But I get really annoyed with CMON releases for that reason, because it's like, I don't really know if I want to go all into stuff. You know, I have plenty of CMON games behind me, like Zombicide, and have gone all in on the Kickstarters, but there's been games like Massive Darkness 2 that I would have loved to have owned, but at the time I didn't really have the money or the willpower to purchase it. But now I'll never purchase it because like half the content's not available. This one, it wasn't too bad. There's an extra character and a couple of like cards that are missing, but it does bug me. I'm sure this will do well and there'll be an expansion, and I'm sure that stuff will probably be offered again, like during some future crowdfunding campaign. But in the very, 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 very off chance that someone out there sees this video and I don't know, this matters, don't do it. Just make it available somehow. Give Kickstarter people exclusives or discounts because they're backing early, but stop with the whole making it exclusively available one way or the other. It's annoying and I don't like it. So that's my opinion on it. Anyway, let's get started. I think I know the rules. I might pause a few times to double check the rules as we go. I've shuffled my cards. I've shuffled my cards. I've shuffled the equipment cards. I have not shuffled this deck. Everything that has this symbol on it, this little like, see if I can get it in focus. Of course, I'm not gonna be able to. There we go. Everything that has that little like recycle infinity symbol on it, you never shuffle those decks. So that's just something that you don't do, which means that even everything on the blueprint pile you get surely but slowly in the same exact order every single time you play. All right, so we are going to start by moving. And for this first round, I am just going to keep this open just to make sure that I don't, because there is no like player aid that tells you what to do on a turn. But I remember it being pretty simple. You move, you check stuff, but I just want to make sure I'm not forgetting. Yeah, it's just move the group, flip and reveal, and then are you still alive? And you just kind of keep doing that. So, played with this yet? I guess let's get rid of my head for now. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is we're just going to move onto this space and we're going to flip it. And we are going to reveal choices. So we can either get a tooth or a cell, a dead cell, I'm assuming that's what they are. Or we can get an equipment card. Now we do not have an equipment card yet, so an equipment card would be nice, but these cells are the things that you kind of use to like upgrade between runs, so I don't really know what the right option is here. Since I don't have an equipment card yet, I'm going to grab the equipment card, but I feel like the rogue-like gamer in me would probably more frequently grab the cell, but we're going to do it since we don't have any, and this is the equipment card that we get. We got a rapier, so it's on the wrist. This kind of can be used during round 3. I can either do 1 damage or I could do 2 damage if whole is in combat. I don't know what whole in combat means, but we're going to drop that down here and then we're going to make another choice. So we can make the choice to go up or we make the choice to go down. If we go up, down we can guarantee another treasure tile similar to the one that we just flipped, or we can kind of gamble by doing stuff on this. Now I'm just going to look at my cards real quick because I'm not familiar enough with the cards to know how many symbols we have. So we have 3 cards with symbols and 3 cards without, so it'd be a 50-50 that we get something from there. But yeah, I'm going to reshuffle this because I'm not supposed to know the order of these cards. So I don't know, I think we'll take the bottom action maybe. Yeah, so we're going to go down and try to get the guaranteed treasure for now. Plus, I think these are elites, if I remember correctly, and this is our first run, so I don't see a reason to go after an elite without like any upgrades. So let's just see what happens. So we're going to go down here, and we are going to explore, and we found a tile that has elites on it anyway. So let's just kind of do our first combat and see how things go. So for setup, we are going to grab one elite, and we grabbed a zombie, which has 3 health, and I think they just go into the first spot. So put them there. And then we grabbed a shield bearer, and they get a lot of defense. So that's going to be kind of annoying to deal with this early. And then we kind of get started with combat. All right, so the way this is going to go, so first things first, we are going to drop this. That's something that we can pick up if we take the loot action. And then basically, I'm the first player. I guess we'll put the little crown on me. And actually, I'm not the first player. Serenade is the first player because we got this little crown symbol right here, which changes the first player. And basically the way this is going to work is I'm going to draw 2 cards. So the way this is going to work is I'm going to draw 3 cards. And we basically resolve everything from left to right. If there was an enemy in this space, I forgot to put this here to remind us what's going on with the rounds, and I guess we'll put the loot up there. So we're resolving things left to right. First, we would play round 0 powers. I don't have any round 0 powers. Currently, Serenade does not have any round 0 powers currently. If I had cards in my discard, there potentially would be some round 0 powers by Serenade there, but we don't have any. So instead, we just skip all that and we go straight to the next phase, which is us. And because Serenade is got the crown, Serenade's going to be playing their card first, but we still have to pick all of our cards at the same time. So let's do that, and let's take a look at the 3 cards that I have. Let's see. Does this help a little bit? Okay. All right, so I could shield for round 1. I don't have any powers yet. Well, actually I do have a power. I have a shield power on my board right here. But I'm not doing a lot of damage with my cards is really the issue that we have going. I could do 2 damage that I think that means skip shields. Is that what that little broken X means? Yeah, unblockable damage. So can't tell if that's 2 unblockable damage or if that's 1 damage and 1 unblockable damage. I'm going to assume that's 2 unblockable damage. At least that's my interpretation of it right now. Let's look at what we're fighting again and figure out what we want to do here. So I'm going to be taking damage 3 times, and if I don't kill the zombie by the end, he's going to punch us for a fourth damage, or I got to deal with the shield bearer who's going to give himself a shield, give the zombie and him a shield, and then he will attack, and then that's all he does. So basically I have to see if I can do 3 damage with my cards, and I don't think I can. I'm not familiar with Serenade's cards at all, so there's a chance that, I mean, I probably should just look so I can be a little bit familiar with it. I'm only going to do this for the first time though. I just don't know what rounds Serenade can attack with. So they can attack the first round, 1-1. Okay, so not a lot we can do against this setup. I don't have any way to freeze. So it looks like we're just going to be taking a lot of damage. I don't think we can kill anything with what I have. We might be able to kill the zombie actually. Actually, no, it's 2 unblockable damage, so we can kill the shield bearer and get a soul, but that would be at the expense of taking 5 damage across the board. Although I could throw down some shields on myself to stop some of that damage. I guess we'll do that. I guess we're going to choose the ability to loot, and then we'll do this 2 unblockable damage to the shield bearer. And so we're going to pick our cards like this, and we'll put them down here. Not really sure. I guess we'll do it like this, 2 active cards. When I have a lot of equipment, it might be annoying to see. And then this 3rd card kind of just stays in our hands, so we'll put that on our board. And then we are going to flip over what Serenade is doing for the turn. So they're going to be punching something. So we could potentially decide. Oh wait, actually we did forget something. The zombie does get a shield token. They do have a level 0 ability right there. Wonder if it would be better to swap these boards. Let's swap these boards. It might be easier to just do it this way. I feel like we're going to be doing a lot more combat stuff than board stuff. Let's see if this works. I feel like it's easier to pick up the tokens and look at them over here than it is to potentially miss stuff with the enemies. So maybe this will be easier. Let's see. Let's zoom down. Maybe not. Maybe this is not easier. Maybe I had it good before. Let's see. This is probably easier. Okay. All right. So the zombie does get a shield at turn 0, and then now we're going to do our stuff, and we go left to right. So we are just going to loot this, and when we loot this, this goes into our bag way over here. Goes in there. Now, what's next? Lower this a tiny bit. Next, we do nothing, and then Serenade is just gonna punch something for 1, and he can only punch the zombie because it's only got a range of 1 with the punch. So we're just gonna basically remove this shield, and then they're gonna do 1 attack damage to us. Because it doesn't have a symbol on it, we can choose whoever's gonna take the damage, and I guess I'll give Serenade the damage first. So the way we lose is if either character loses, so I feel like this first round is not going to go very well for us. So at least hopefully we can get a dead cell. I probably should have taken the dead cell from the first treasure. It would have given us 2 dead cells to upgrade between games, but we'll see how this goes. I don't know if I'm making mistakes. We're learning as we go. So round 2 is going to happen, and sorry, Serenade should have went first too. They have the thing, so they would have punched first. Nothing really changes. I would have looked second, third, but they're going first, and then I play my 2 cards. And I assume that the order always matters. Like I have to predetermine second, third, like this. So I'm trying to keep them in the same order so I don't forget. And then the shield bearer gave himself a shield. So next we do our round 2 stuff. I'm going to give myself a shield. Grab some more shields out of here. So we now have a shield on us, and I do nothing for my second action. And then Serenade Serenade goes first, does nothing for their second action, and then I give myself a shield. I give myself a shield because this is like a skill icon. This is the 1 skill ability that I have right here. So I give myself a shield. But then the zombie is going to attack. The zombie is going to attack. I wonder if I can choose to any beheaded. So this has to be me. This could be to anybody. Got it. So zombie has to punch Serenade, and then there's going to be more shields being thrown out. We'll do a shield there, and then a shield there. And that's it for the second round. Then the third round, Serenade's going to go, and they're going to do 1 punch. It doesn't really matter who they punch because everybody has shields. I guess I guess they don't have a choice. They have to punch the zombie because of the range. And then I'm going to take my 2 round 3 actions. I have nothing for this card, but for this card, assuming that both of these are undefendable, they ignore shields. Let me double check that that's the wording on it. Unblockable damage, so yeah, I assume it just ignores the shields. And the shield bearer only has 2 health, so we're going to, and it has a range of 2, so that's something that's important as well. I can attack the first slot or the second slot, kind of important for this situation. We're going to attack the shield bearer. The shield bearer only has 2 hearts, so they're going to drop a dead cell, and that is also going to go into our bag, and then they go away. Assuming I played all that correctly. Now they're going to take their turn, and they're just going to punch us. I get to choose who takes the damage. I'll choose myself to take the damage since I have a shield. I'll get rid of my shield. And then this zombie, who's an elite, has a special thing that we haven't killed them by the 4th round, or, after the 3rd round, if they're not dead, they get to punch us 1 more time, and I guess I'll just take the damage for that. That leaves us both with 2 health, which is not a great start, and they go away, and that's just the end of the combat. So we survived, and then the way these get discarded, this one goes first, and this one goes second. So basically, the first one that you play goes in the discard first, the second one you play then goes on top. So at the very least now, I have an icon here, which means at the beginning of our next combat, I can freeze something, which would have been pretty useful to do during that last fight, but it is what it is. We can't really control what we get. All right, so that's it for that battle. We're going to move on. Let me double check. All right, so after the combat now, we're just going to do some end of combat upkeep. I discarded my cards. I have to draw 2 cards up. So this is my new hand. So I now have 3 cards in my hand. Not sure what happened there. Okay. We would discard any extra tokens, like if we had like shields and stuff that would go away. The monsters went away. Now we get to take the loot that we just got, which is basically this one upgrade action. So I can upgrade either myself or I can upgrade, and I think I'm going to upgrade Serenade because that's going to give us 2 gold teeth that we can then use to purchase stuff. So we're going to get 2 gold teeth, I think, immediately. Let me double check how that works. So actually, I'm not going to give myself the two gold. I'm not even sure if we're going to make it to the end to spend our gold. We do have a shop coming up, but I have no idea what's in shops, and I don't know if you can get dead cells by purchasing. So I think I'm instead going to just get this upgrade. This is something that I did read in the errata though. Whoops, I don't know why that zoomed up so much. We don't get this -1 heart. Apparently that's an error on the board, so we're just going to ignore that. But now we do get a shield at the beginning of every combat, which should hopefully maybe keep us alive a little bit longer, which we desperately need. So yeah, we're going to do that instead, and I'm not going to keep the two teeth because this first combat did not go that well for us. So we are now just going to move to the next space. I think I did everything. This card gets discarded. I don't have a lot of discard space, so I'm gonna put his cards right here. Serenade's cards, or her cards, I'm not sure. Still not sure if it's he or she. Once you run out, then you basically just use what's on the board. So that's also an issue. We might want to get her cards at some point. So now we're going to go to the next space on the board, which looks like it's a treasure. And we are going to, we can get an equipment, or the first player can get an upgrade. So I guess since Serenade is the first player, we'll just get the upgrade and get those teeth anyway. So I guess it works out. Not what I meant to have happen, but we now have 2 teeth over here and we have 1 cell over there. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the next space. This is a store. Also, I had set this up incorrectly at some point. I paused it and swapped into the right tile. Apparently I can't match my shapes, but it should have been like one of these types of shapes. All right, so now we have a store, and this is for 2 teeth. We can get a blueprint, so we might as well do that since we have 2 teeth. I don't know if we're gonna make it to the end to be able to collect that blueprint, but the way this works is we go to the blueprint deck, we take the bottom card, and then it goes into our collector space. And basically, if we can get all the way to the end of the game and beat the boss, which again, I don't feel like it's going to happen during this first game, we get that equipment for free if my rules understanding is correct. If not, then it goes back into the blueprint deck for a future run. So we're going to move to the next space and we are going to have a fight probably. And this one, there is no elite, but at the very least, we are the first player now. So we're going to drop 2 normal. This first one is just going to be a zombie, not a big zombie. And then the second one is just another zombie. Okay, so this might be more doable. We'll see. And then I guess we're just going to start the combat. So first things first, all 0 abilities are going to happen. If you look at the board, 0 abilities happen first. I guess I should probably zoom in for this. There we go. And we have 2 0 abilities now. We have this one at the beginning of the combat. I'm just going to get so we'll put the shield right there. And then we also get to freeze an enemy. And since both enemies are the same, it doesn't really matter which one we freeze. So I guess we will just freeze this guy first and we'll see what we can do. They both have 2 health. They both give us a gold tooth when they get killed. And if they both survive to the last round, they both do extra damage to us. So now we can draw our cards and look at them. And since we go first, our 2 actions are going to happen first. And I think we're just going to play them like this. Actually, I mean, it's kind of the same thing. What does a golden shield do? Let's see. Gain 1 golden shield token, discard to block 1 damage or 1 state. So I guess maybe we will do it this way. We'll use these 2 and hold on to this card. And we're going to play it in this order so that at the very least at the beginning of the next round we can use this symbol for Serenade's ability. So we're going to play it down like this. I'm trying to think the best way to do this. I guess we'll play it like this. probably the best way to just keep it on the screen. And then Serenade's going to choose their card, and we're going to get to see it now. And they basically are doing nothing for the first 2 rounds, and then they get to hit something for 2 hard. So at the very least, we should be killing both of these zombies based on what we have. The question is, can we do it without taking any damage? And I don't think that's the case, but we will try. Actually, no, we can... No, I think we're going to take at least 1 damage this round. All right, so the first round, there's no enemies over here. So the first player is going to go, which is us. We're going... Actually, no, yeah, we can avoid all the damage because we're going to get another shield. That puts us at 2 shields. And then we do nothing. And then Serenade does nothing. We get punched once from this guy, so we're going to lose a shield. And then this zombie does nothing because they were frozen. Frozen just basically makes them ignore their action for the round that we chose. Then we'll do the second round, and basically I can punch something either behind me or in the first 2 slots for 1, and I can do that twice. So I guess we'll just punch this zombie, and when they die, we are going to get a golden tooth. So we'll do that now. Goes into our... And then Serenade does nothing again, but the zombie's going to punch us for 1, but we have a shield to block it, so we're taking no damage. And then we're going to jump to the third round. I do nothing, but I would loot... Oh yeah, we also have a blueprint. Let me find that icon. I do not know if there's an actual blueprint icon, so maybe I'm supposed to just put the blueprints in there. I'm not sure. Or I just have to remember that it's a thing. I don't know. I don't see an icon that represents a blueprint. At least I'm not finding it in my pile of tokens. We are doing nothing. We are looting, so we are going to get a blueprint. And similar to before, that means we take the blueprint pile, we grab whatever the blueprint is on the bottom, and then it's going to go into our collector over here. And if we can make it to the end, we get that for free. And then Serenade is just going to punch twice to the zombie. Actually, the zombie was supposed to walk up first at the end of the last round, but it doesn't matter because this is like a range for everywhere. Gonna punch twice and kill the zombie. We're gonna get another tooth, and then we're going to walk away from this fight cleanly, which is good for us. All right, so we don't have any other choices where we're going to go. So we're going to go down here, and we're going to encounter this next space. And this next space is just a treasure. I don't know what this does. We don't have access to this rune yet, so we don't know what this does. But we're getting 2 upgrades, and now Serenade is the first player. So we are getting a tooth, and we are getting... Basically, I can upgrade Serenade again, and we can heal 1. Or I can upgrade myself and give me the ability to tank damage instead of whoever the first player is. So whenever it's that first player token, I can tank it. I think for now we're just going to upgrade Serenade and get this health. And I don't remember who heals, but I think I have to heal. Gain a vial. Okay, what's a vial? Immediately remove 1 damage token from the health track of a beheaded. So it could be either one of us. I guess let's remove it from Serenade. And I'm assuming I have to use that immediately. And then this card actually was supposed to go away from last time, and we were supposed to discard these cards like this. So this would go in first, and then this goes on top like that. And then, yes, that is it for the turn. So we have 2 more spaces left for this run. We have another fight, and then we have whatever happens in here. I don't know if this is a boss or if this is something else. I don't know how that works. I'm assuming it's not a boss. I'm assuming we get to upgrade and stuff, but let's see what happens. So we're gonna go here. We got another fight. Let's see what this fight is. So it's gonna be 3 enemies. So I am now the first player again. The Flayed is the first player. We have 3 enemies. We have a purple upgrade for loot, so let's get that into the loot spots so we don't forget. We also forgot to, at the end of the last round, to draw up. So I guess actually there isn't going to be a symbol here because we only have 2 cards left in our deck, which means we have to draw this and shuffle it. So Unfortunately, we're not going to get that extra power for this fight, which is unfortunate because I think we needed it, especially with 3 enemies now, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. And we've got 3 cards. We'll look at those in a second. We did forget that we have the rapier, which lets us do damage during the third. Lets us do damage during the 3rd round. We totally forgot we bought that. I don't think that would have come into play yet. We've had either enough damage or totally not enough damage. But it's good to remind myself that we have that. So now we're going to drop 3 enemies. So we have a Grenadier. We have another one that has more health, slightly different abilities. And then we have a Shield Bearer. So we have 3 enemies, potentially to take a lot of damage from this guy, and potentially take a lot of damage from this guy. And this guy will only hit us once, but he does shield this guy. So they don't have any 0 powers. So let's look at our cards first. Let's commit our cards and figure out what we want to do. I think we are going to, let's see, we can do 2 damage. We need 3 damage for that. We can take 2 damage and do 2 damage and do a 3rd damage, but he's going to get a shield, or he's going to... Alright, so I think we're going to do these 2. We'll just get the shields and hope for the best. Hopefully Serenade gets something that gets us through this. But we're going to play these 2 cards just like this. We're going to hold on to this card, and we're going to play them like this so you can see them. And then what's next? They're going to flip over their card. Alright, they are going to be able to hit early, so we might be able to do something with that. Kind of the same thing one way or the other, but yeah. Alright, so these are our actions. We are committed now. So the first thing happens are the 0 powers. No 0 powers here, but we do have a 0 power on our Flayed, and we're going to give ourselves a shield. And then we are going to start this fight. We're going to give ourselves 2 more shields. 1 from our power, and 1 from just the shield icon. And then we are going to punch something once. And I think we're going to punch this guy. Oh, actually, that's going to be a problem because this is a range 1. So we're going to punch this guy, and we're going to deal 1 damage to him. So he takes 1 damage, but he is going to shield himself. And then the Grenadier is going to punch us, and we will choose to block 1 with the Flayed. And then he's going to shield himself, the Shield Bearer. And that's it for the first round. We'll move to the second round. It's going to be us again. Now we get to punch twice. And we're going to punch this Grenadier once to get rid of his shield. And we're going to punch him again to remove him off the board. So we are going to get a dead cell into our bag. So we do have 2 cells now. So at least if we lose this run, we have some upgrades that we can possibly do. And then Serenade does nothing for their second thing. So now he's just going to punch Serenade once. So Serenade's going to take a damage. We can't block that, unfortunately. If I would have taken this power, I would have been able to block it. So it might have been a better idea to do that. But I was kind of worried about the health situation. Would have been better to have taken this power, to be honest. But it's too late. One of these lessons that I'm learning from playing this character for the first time. And he's going to get a shield, and that's it for that round. For the 3rd round, none of us have powers, although I do have the rapier, so I can hit something. Why does this not want to focus? What's going on here? Let's do it. I do have the rapier, which would... I feel like I'm losing my mind. There we go. For my 3rd round, I can hit something, but it doesn't really do anything, so we're just going to not worry about it because we don't do any other attacks, which means that these guys should have moved up. And he's going to do nothing, but he is going to punch Serenade 1 more time. So if Serenade takes one more damage, we are going to lose. Had I taken this upgrade, I could have tanked both of those, and we'd be in a slightly better situation with Serenade having 1 extra health. So in the future, I'll probably take this upgrade first. Now that I realize how much shielding I get, that's the end of the combat. We're going to remove these guys. They just kind of go away. We don't get their bonuses. We've removed my shield tokens. We get rid of Serenade's last card. And then what happens now? We draw 2 more cards. We're going to discard these 2 cards. Neither of them have a symbol, so they don't help us. Next, we get to just exit the toxic sewers, and that means we've completed this first biome. So what happens now is we get to go to, they call it they call it something. I forget what it's called. The Interbiome. That's what it's called. And basically, it's where we can catch our breath. We can do a bunch of things. That's basically this square right here. So let's kind of just zoom over here and see what we're doing with it. That's too close. Basically, we can do these 3 actions one by one. If we have any blueprints on the collector, we get them now. So these basically go right to the top of the equipment deck, which means that for this game, at the very least, we could buy equipment and we can get one of these 2 right away if we think it's worth it. All the stuff we can do is kind of listed here. We can, for 1 tooth, heal once, but we can only do that 1 time. Looks like this space is upgradable at some point, so we can get like better ways to heal. We have 5 teeth, so we are going to heal once. So we are going to heal Serenade because they got hit so much. And then we could buy an equipment for 2, or we could purchase a blueprint for 4. I don't remember how the blueprint purchasing works. I gotta look. All right, so I have basically 2 choices. I could buy 1 equipment and kind of see what one of the new equipments that we got are, or I could pay 4 to get another blueprint into the deck. My thinking is we're going to be going through this biome a lot. I mean, maybe at some point we get to skip it, but for now, we're going to be going through the prisoner's quarters multiple times. So we're probably going to unlock all the blueprints naturally because we just unlocked 2 on our first run. So instead of spending 4 tooth to unlock a blueprint, I'm going to spend 2 to get an equipment, and we'll just see what we get. So we got the, why does this not want to? All right, we got the knockback shields. All right, let's do it like this. I feel like I'm missing something. There we go. All right, so we got the knockback shields. When you use a shield, deal 1 damage to an enemy. Okay, so that's like really good for us, specifically for my character. So I can only hold 1 equipment during a game right now. This is another thing that we can probably upgrade as we go along. But right now, I only have 1 available equipment slot. So my choice is I can either get rid of the one I just got, or I could get rid of the rapier that we got earlier. And I'm going to get rid of the rapier because we use a lot of shields, so why not? And then I think this goes on the bottom of the deck, or maybe it just goes here. Not 100% sure. I'd have to look that up, but we'll just put it there for now, and we'll deal with it later. And then again, as a reminder, the two equipment that we unlock through blueprints stay in this equipment deck forever. All right, so that is the end of the first biome. So now we move on to the toxic sewers. So all of this is going to go away. As you can see, there are like, I don't know, not a horrible, like not a huge amount of variability in tiles, but there's definitely leftover tiles, so you're not going to be guaranteed to see the same tiles every single. But yeah, now we start here, and then now we can make some choices on where we want to go, and we continue until we either lose or we beat the boss. And this is the boss right there. And then you keep going, and you're trying to get all the way to the end of the game. I have no idea what these biohazard symbols are. Okay, it says it right there on the map. So let's zoom up and see if we can read it. It says, when the group passes through a corridor with this, the first player must perform a deck check. If they fail, we take a damage, I think is what that says. All right, so, and then I have no idea what this is either. Is this one of the runes? This looks like it's one of the runes, so no idea what that is. And did I forget something? I might have forgotten something in this first run. No, I did not. All right, so we're going to move on. I think we are going to... Nope, I'm forgetting. There's a complete tile right. All right, I think we're going to go south and do this one. And we'll see how good or a bad idea this is. All right, so currently, Serenade is going to be the first. Actually, I don't know if I get cards back with Serenade. I gotta. Okay, yes, Serenade does get their cards back at the Interbiome, so that's at least some good news for us. So there we go. And then I gotta figure out what this means now. We get a tooth, and then discard. A player can discard a combat card from their hand and add a card from their draw pile. Okay. And then why is it like 50 symbols? What am I missing? Effect is applied to all the beheads. Okay, so if we were playing with multiple players, everybody could do this once. Got it. All right, so we're getting a tooth just from going there. And I can discard a card. And I have all 3 icons in my hand. So what I am thinking is holding on to this and possibly discarding this so that we can have a symbol here for Serenade to target somebody, and we'll draw our last card that's here. And these are the cards that we have in our hand. Whether my planning works out or not, I don't know, but that's what we're going to do. So, all right, we're going to move to the next room, and we're going to have to fight something. I did forget to do something. I forgot to put these cards away. So all of this now goes away. Let's just move them over here. I'll worry about putting it back in the box after. And so now we have a whole new set of blueprints that are specific to the toxic sewers, and we also have a whole new set of enemies that are specific to do a little bit of shuffling. I swear that I shuffled the other deck before, but we did get a lot of repeats, so I don't know. The game is not sleeved. I might want to change that at some point, but currently we're playing without sleeves. All right. So now we have to draw 3 normal enemies. And we did not loot this last game, right? Did we have a loot? Did not loot last battle. All right. First one, Scorpion. He goes behind us, so he's going to be doing stuff. Then we got a Kamikaze, and then we have Disgusting Worm. Okay, so all new enemies here that we got to deal with. So let us look and see what we want to do. He's going to hit us first unless we stop it. But he has 2 health, so we might be able to stop it with our cards and our abilities. He can poison. Poison basically, you take 1 unblockable damage at the end of every round, which is really bad for us because both of our characters only have 2 health. So we definitely want to kill that Scorpion. This Kamikaze is going to be invisible for the first round, but for the second round he can be targeted, and the 3rd round he kills himself, but he does 2 damage first. I believe that's how that works. And the Disgusting Worm does something disgusting, but I don't know what that is. He makes us discard their active card, which I assume a player must discard. So just one of us, I get to discard 1 of the 3 cards. All right, so Serenade's going to be going first, but let's see what we want to use. We're trying not to use this card because we want to hold on to it. So let's see what we can do here. And then we also get 2 teeth to try to loot. All right, so unfortunately, I have no way of dealing direct damage, but I can still kill the Scorpion with Serenade's ability. So we're just going to do our cards like this. Yeah, we're going to do our cards like this. And I'll explain why we're doing it like this in a second. Okay, so we'll put it like this. And then it's going to reveal their card. And interestingly enough, they also can punch something. So we do have some weird synergy style stuff happening right now. All right, so first things first, we are going to use our 0 abilities. And the first 0 ability is I get a shield. And then Serenade is going to mark the Scorpion. And what mark does is every time they actually get hit, they take an additional damage, which will be useful for stuff that's going to be happening soon. So that's that 0. Actually, whose 0 ability goes first? Our 0 ability goes first. I believe so. He doesn't have a 0 ability. He's just before us. Okay. For some reason I thought he had a 0 ability, but he doesn't. So ours goes and then theirs goes. Yeah, so all of our 0 abilities go first. Then we go in turn order. Oh yeah, so that is kind of unfortunate. I don't have any control over how this works. Do I want to do it like this? Let me double check. Because this guy drops a blueprint, but also damages us when he dies. Well, I mean, we're stuck. We can't really do anything. We've already committed our cards, so we're stuck doing this. We're going to be doing this inefficiently, unfortunately. All right, he's going to go first. He's going to attack us. I'm going to choose to take the damage with the knockback shield. which is going to do 1 damage to him, which is going to be, because he's marked, he's going to take 2 damage, and we're just going to kill the Scorpion. Scorpion basically kills himself. So we don't have to worry about the poison. And then upon death, he is going to drop a upgrade token that we can assign at the end of the round. Then the Kamikaze is going to go invisible. So actually no, we go. So the Kamikaze is not invisible yet. How does that work? Hold on, I gotta look that up. So I checked the FAQ and yeah, it makes sense. They're just invisible. I can't target them. So Serenade's action gets wasted. We can't attack the worm because we can only attack 1 space. So that's our actions. They're invisible. The worm does nothing. So we're going to move on to the second round. And we loot the 2 teeth. Does nothing. We loot. We do nothing. Second round, nobody's here. So we go. Serenade does nothing. We get a shield back. And then we can hit something for 1. And we are going to hit this Kamikaze. And they only have 1 health. So they're going to die. And we're going to get another tooth added into our tooth pile here. And the worm is going to force one of us to discard a card. And I am just going to accept. I will discard this card first. And then we move on to round 3. And the worm's going to move up. We go. I only have 1 action card. Whoops, I moved it too low. We loot, which does nothing for us. But before that, sorry, Serenade goes first. Serenade's going to punch the worm for 1. Then we go, we loot, we do nothing. The worm's going to punch us for 1. We're going to block it with our shield. Yep, so the worm has 2 damage. We'll put it on there, but it doesn't matter because we don't have any way to do any more damage with what we have going on. So that's it. The hearts go away. We already looted what we needed to loot. The worm goes away. Serenade loses their card. This gets discarded on top. We draw 2 more. Man, okay, it's fine. We're going to draw 2 more cards, but we have to reshuffle. So our little setup to get more damage again goes away, but that's fine. We're going to draw 2 more cards. We get this card back, and then we get another shieldy type card back. Then we reset everything. We are going to now assign this to ourselves because we just looted that. And I could give it either to myself, which lets me tank. We're going to do that because we said we were going to do that before. This lets us take damage instead of the crown. Or I could have powered up Serenade, which would let us flip this over. And then they would get like slightly more powerful things. But we're not going to do that yet. And yeah, so that is it for that fight. So we have the option of going this way or down. We're going to go down because I don't want to deal with whatever the hazard symbols are. But when we go down, we have our first skill test. We didn't really talk about skill tests, but we'll talk about them now. Basically, when you go over one of these symbols, you either sometimes randomly have to do it, or you have to just, whoever is the first player has to have the appropriate symbol in their hand and discard it in order to pass it. For solo, whenever we pass over one of those, I become the first player because I'm the only one that has these symbols. And that was why I was purposely keeping this green symbol so that I could pass that test. And I think all that happens is we just let... Yeah, so basically if I didn't have that card, I wouldn't be able to go down here. But I do, so I have it. I'm going to draw another card back into my hand, so I have three cards, and we're going to interact with the merchant. So the merchant lets us... For 1 tooth, we can heal twice. So as you can see, that's what that is. And we can do this twice. So we're going to spend 2 of our teeth. Since we have so many teeth over here, we are going to do that. So we're getting rid of 2 teeth. We'll heal 1 from both of us. And yeah, that felt pretty good. All right, so we're going to move back on to this middle space, which is a treasure space. And we can either get a purple upgrade or we can get an equipment. Considering that we don't, let's look up what Serenade's powered up side looks like. I don't even know what it looks like. Okay, so we get much stronger powers here. So we are definitely going to upgrade Serenade. That's what we're doing. We're giving the power to Serenade, and yep, that's what we're doing. We have a stronger Serenade now. We can freeze everything and or target everything, or do a lot of damage during multiple phases. that's where we are at. And then eventually they can even give us some shields, which would be really nice. All right, so we're going to move on to now. Let's look at our hand and see where we can go next. We do not have a purple or a green. So if we look up here, if we wanted to go, whoops, if we wanted to go down, we would need a green. If we wanted to go this way, we would need a purple. And we have neither. So we are going to have to deal with this check. This is just a different type of check, but if I didn't have a symbol, so actually it's a deck check, random, let's see, hold on. Yeah, so it's weird that they don't use the proper symbol for it, but it does say deck check, and a deck check is a random version of this. So basically I pull from the top of my cards here, and if I have one of the 3 symbols, I don't take damage, and if I don't, then I do take damage. So we're going to flip this over, and we did not grab a symbol, so we're also losing our freeze all again, which is unfortunate. So we do take a damage. So all that hard work gone. Not much we can do. All right, so we're going to go back up, and we are just going to do another fight now. So this one, Serenade is going to be the first player, and it's 2 regular zombies and an orange upgrade. So, oops, sorry, I don't know why I did it like this. Okay, you got a buzz cutter. They have a special positioning. They start all the way over here, and then a disgusting worm, they're going to start right here. And the buzz cutter will do a lot of damage to us based on how much health they have. So we're going to hope to see if we can deal some damage to lower their health. I don't think we can kill them. We can do a lot of damage though to the disgusting worm. So we are simply just going to play the Flayed cards like so. We're going to play both of these, and we'll play it like this. Doesn't matter which, and we'll keep this one. And the reason why we're doing it this way is simply, do we want to definitely do it this way? Yeah, we're going to definitely do it this way. We don't know what they're going to be drawing. They're probably not going to get any damage in the first round, but maybe in the second they will. And oh, Serenade has 1 less health on this side, which I guess I should have noticed. I don't remember if we did not heal them completely, right? They had 1 damage, so kind of interesting that they get less health on that side. Oh wait, but they heal. That's right, they heal completely when we flip it. Maybe we should have waited for them to take more damage and then flip the heal, but it is what it is. I forgot that when you flip them over, they heal fully, so they're kind of exactly where they were at. Yeah, so we're going to do this, I guess, and we're going to try to take out this disgusting worm before they can poison us, and really see if we can lower this buzz cutter down a little bit before they do a lot of damage to us. We do have level 0 abilities, which I might have forgotten to use last time. I don't remember. No, I definitely did it last time. So we're giving ourselves a shield, and we have no 0 abilities over here that are active yet. Yeah, so I probably could have swapped this around. If I want to upgrade, I do. So, okay, we're going to swap this around. Sorry. We haven't revealed their card yet, so we can still do this. We're going to do it like this. I think this will work out, hopefully. Yeah, because we want to be able to loot. We want to power up Serenade to get this extra shield action every turn. All right, so we're going to reveal Serenade's card, and Serenade goes first. All right, so Serenade's doing nothing this first round, so nothing changes. We are doing the level 0 power, then we go first. We give ourselves 2 more shields, and then we give ourselves 1 more shield. Sorry. We do nothing. They're going to hit us for 2, and it says when you, I guess I got to look this. So looking at the FAQ, there does not seem to be a limitation on the knockback shield. Most of the time with equipment, you can only use it once, but with the shield, it says when you use defense, deal 1 damage to an enemy. So we could block both of these and deal 2 damage to the worm. At least that's my interpretation. I'll have to ask on Board Game Geek if that's how that works. And then the buzz cutter does nothing. And then that's the end of the round. The buzz cutter is going to try and move up. I believe that's how that works. I think they only start. Yeah, so I believe they're going to move up. So we're now in the second round. Serenade does nothing. we can hit things twice. So we're going to hit this disgusting worm once and kill the worm. And that's going to give us one, we're going to take 1 damage. And I guess we're going to give this 1 damage to Serenade. We get a tooth and we get a dead cell. So we're going to put the dead cell into our bag. That gives us 3. And the worm's going to go away. And then we are going to hit Buzz Cutter once with our next. And is there anything we're forgetting? We only have the 2 shields. And that's it, yeah. So Buzz Cutter is now going to attack for 2 damage. So we're each going to take 1 damage. So that puts us to 1 health and Serenade down to 1 health. We'll split it up that way. And they're going to just slide up. And then, unfortunately, it still doesn't matter. We complete everything. But Serenade's going to then hit Buzz Cutter for 2. And Buzz Cutter is going to die. And we're going to get another dead cell. And then we're going to just simply loot. And we're going to grab this upgrade here. And we're going to put our cards into the discard. This goes down first. This goes down on top. We're going to draw 2 cards. Okay, we're back to, once again, not getting to take advantage of our player discard situation when it comes to Serenade, unfortunately. Keep trying to set Serenade up to do some big hits, but it doesn't happen. We do get to assign this upgrade, and we're going to give this to Serenade so that we can get an extra shield at the beginning of the round. And then that is it for that space. And we are done. So we have 1 more hit left. If either one of us takes a hit, 3 more battles to go. So this is probably looking like the run is going to end. But I think we did pretty good for our first play ever. This actually might end right now because I have to go through... We don't have this rune to go straight to the boss. So I have to go through this space, and this is another draw from the top of the deck. And if actually we don't take damage for this one, so we get a bonus if we draw a symbol. So we're gonna draw, and we got the fist. So okay, look at that. So now we actually are in a good place because this is gonna get discarded, and we're gonna get a dead cell from that. That's the bonus that we get from this space right here. So that actually worked out. But we do have to do this battle now. It'll be 2 more enemies and equipment. So let's do our enemies first. All right, so we have another disgusting worm and another kamikaze bat thing. All right, so this is not looking good for us because that's a lot of damage, although we are in a position to do a lot of damage actually. So we're gonna see how all this goes. Serenade's still going first. These are our cards. We can get a shield and punch something really hard. We need to be able to punch the bat really hard to not take 3 damage. But we're in a position that the worm kills us. We need to not kill the worm. So let's see here. What do we want to do? I think we're gonna do it like this. I think we're gonna give ourselves... We're getting 2 shields, so we don't need to give ourselves any shields. So we'll hold on to this. I think we're simply just going to do it like this, so that we can put this on top. And no, it's not going to matter. Oh yeah, we will matter because we'll have freeze for the next round. Actually, maybe we want targets for the next round. But yeah, we're going to do it like this. This is we're locking in our choices. We got Serenade, who is going to be able to punch something. But actually, we can kill the kamikaze bat even sooner, which will be good. We just have to make sure we do not kill the worm. Actually, no, we should be fine. I think this will work out. I think this will work out just fine. All right, so we're gonna do our 0 abilities first. We're gonna get a shield, and we're gonna get a shield, and this has to go. So I did look it up. I think we might have cheated before. This means that it has to go on, which is unfortunate because I think we healed ourselves earlier and gave it to Serenade, so that was kind of one minor cheat. But I do think this means that it has to go. I will double check that again, but I do think that's what that means. All right, so we have 2 shields. These are the abilities. And Serenade's going to go first, and they can punch 1 place anywhere. So they're going to do a damage directly to the kamikaze. And then we go, and we can also punch the kamikaze. So before the kamikaze can go invisible, we kill them. And it's going to, upon death, give us another dead cell. So we're doing pretty good. We're going to be getting some upgrades at the end of this game. We do nothing to the worm. So that's the end of the first. The worm does nothing. We do nothing to the worm. So we're on the second round now. Now Serenades does nothing. We do nothing. Everybody does nothing. Except for the disgusting worm is going to make one of us discard a card. We're going to make Serenade discard their card. And then for the third round, Serenade does nothing. I don't know. Well, I guess Serenade doesn't have a card. This doesn't just kick in. But then we are going to 3 damage to the disgusting worm. We got 2 undefendable and then another one right here. So that's going to kill the worm. The worm's going to attack us for 1, but we have a shield. And then we're just going to get... So we got more teeth. And then now we have to deal with an elite. So we got rid of our shields. We don't have any more cards for Serenade, unfortunately. So we know what they're doing every turn, but it's not a lot. This goes on top. So this goes first. So at the very least, maybe we can squeeze out another victory out of this. And we just have 3 basic cards now that we're going to work with. So let's see what this encounter is going to be. We haven't done an elite counter like this yet. So we become first player. We are going to draw an elite. It's a zombie. And then it's another zombie. And then we're going to be getting a purple upgrade here, assuming that we win. Okay, so we'll do that. So we're going to be going first. And the zombie is going to be getting a shield early and has 3 health. And if it does not die, it's going to punch us for a lot. The other zombie punches us immediately. We are simply going to just get shields for days, and we're going to hope that we can do something with all the damage that we get. So this is what we're doing. And we are going to go first. So all the 0 actions happen first. We are going to get 2 shields, 1 from us and 1 from Serenade. This zombie is going to get a shield. That shield is probably going to be the thing that does us in, but let's see. Then we are going to go first, and we're going to get 2 more shields. So we have 4 shields on us right now. And then Serenade does nothing. They're going to hit us for 1, and we're going to block it, and we're going to do a damage back. And then unfortunately, our shield, knockback shield, does not have range to hit in the second position. So we're just going to have to take another shield. So we're down to 2 shields. And then we're going to do the second round. The second round is simply going to be us punching something twice. Also, Serenade punching something twice. But the problem here is this zombie is invisible, and we don't have the range to... Well, we do have the range here. So we're going to punch this zombie once. They're going to punch this zombie once. So we are going to kill at least 1 zombie, but we don't get anything for killing the zombie. So that's unfortunate. So it's not looking like we are going to survive this. We needed to kill this guy in order to survive, and it's not happening. So next round, we don't have any powers. They're going to hit us once, and we're going to hit them once back. So they take a damage. But if they survive basically to the last round, then they get to hit us 2 more times. We only have 1 more shield, which means we have to take the last hit, which means we are finally going to lose this game. So this is where we end the game, but again, that's not the end of everything. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 cells that we can spend now at the end of the game. And the way it works is basically we can purchase from these 4 decks. We have the Abandoned Well, which is 1, and then we have the Tactics cards, which are purple. We have the Survival cards that are green, and we have Brutality, and they all cost 2. I don't really know what's the best path to upgrade, but I do know that we like our purple track the most and our green track the most. So I don't know. Let's buy 1 upgrade from the green track and just see what we get. So the first upgrade we're going to get is a Survival level 1. It says, take the bottom card of this pile and resolve it. Upgrade deck. When this card is revealed, take the next 2 cards. Choose which beheaded to give them to. They are immediately added to their combat decks. 2 more cards. And we got Cold Shoulder and Second Wind. So we get a freeze action. So I think we're going to simply give this one to Serenade so that they get a fourth card that we can potentially not run out of cards too early. And we're going to give this one to the Flayed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. So that is our first upgrade. We have 2 more to spend. We have 4 more to spend. I guess we will do we'll do a purple tactics card. Treasure, level 1. Place 2. Okay, so how does this work? Place this card in the start of game section. Okay, so basically every game we're going to be starting with 2 teeth in our bag. So this is going to go up here into this spot. I'll slide it in a little bit. And then I think instead of doing 1 red, I want to do another green because I don't know. I feel like I want to do green. I don't really have a reason for wanting to do green here. Or I could do 2 abandoned well cards too. I don't really know what the abandoned well is going to get us, but right now I'm just brutality. Maybe I should just do 1 of each. But I feel like everyone probably does 1 of each. I'm gonna do another green one, and we'll see if we regret this decision later. All right. Place 1 potion token on this card for use during your run. Okay. This is during the game. So a potion lets us heal completely once. So this is actually pretty good for us. This would have saved us last game. So place this card in the during the game section of the mutation board. So now next time we play, we're going to be getting a potion and we're going to be getting 2 teeth. And we got 2 cards that aren't necessarily upgrades, but we'll add more symbols into our decks. This has a freeze on it, which kind of gives Serenade a little bit more to do on their turn. And this second wind card is just another card that lets us heal and also lets us get a shield. And since we seem to like shields, now the big problem is we may not get the knockback shield next game. So that's a problem. This was kind of like really key to our strategy. But now we know it exists and it's in our equipment deck. So that's something that we can work out. Maybe there's a way that we can like equipment that we want more reliably. But the way this is going to work is our equipment all gets shuffled so that next game we are starting with a fresh deck. And yeah, that's the end of our first game. I'm going to do the cleanup of this at the end of like after this video because this one's kind of went pretty long. We're almost at 2 hours. But I do think our next run will go a lot quicker because I now understand it a bit more and I understand it a bit more. Yeah, I understand it a bit more, so it will go a lot quicker. I don't think the next one, I don't have to teach all the rules next time I play. So I will be doing another run of this soon. Watch my channel if you want to follow along with my Dead Cells journey. I'll put this all away, and then I will do another setup at the beginning of my next video, and hopefully this was enjoyable. Give me a like, follow, and I will see you next time. And let me know if I got any rules wrong. I definitely know I got the potion wrong. I think I did the shield correctly. I may have once did something wrong with a range earlier on. I didn't really mention it, but I'm not sure if I used my shield with something that was too far. That could have been a problem. But other than that, I think I did everything correctly. So I will see you next time.